Hey guys, today we're back on the Discovery. We've got a broken headlight. Show that in a bit more detail in a moment, but first off we've got to get the grille off to get the headlight out, which sounds like a bit of a task, but it's not difficult at all. Pop the headlight out and see what we can do about it. So you can see here damage to the headlight. We've got big sections broken out. I've actually removed that because it was sticking out. Not really sure what happened. We've got marks here which looks like there's a stone that's come in or something. I didn't actually notice this until the vehicle was parked up, so I didn't hear anything happening or whatever. So we need to get it off and see what we can do to fix it. As you can see, the front grille is all one piece here and sits over the headlight, so this has got to come off in order to get this out, and that's actually much easier than it sounds. You've got these little tags up here which just pop off, and then down the bottom here you just need to give it a good tug. Same on the other side. That's it, all the way. Then on the light itself, you've got these little tabs here, so you need to lift that. You don't want to go too far with it. Then you've got another one here, which I don't know if you can see. You might need to. You can't get in at this one. You need to use a little screwdriver just to lift it up, and then the whole unit comes forward. Oh, what's catching? You just need to undo the plug at the back, and away it comes. So here's the headlight. You can see the crack in it. We've now got it all out. I thought this was going to be a completely sealed unit. I'd never really looked at it before. And for one of these in its entirety, the cheapest one I found that I think fits the same spec, even on eBay, was like £500, and it was well over £1,000 for a brand new one. So that didn't seem like a great option to me. So I did a bit more searching and obviously realised that the lens itself comes off. So we've got a new one of those, goes that way around. This was 99 quid, which probably seems like a lot anyway for just a piece of plastic, but I've checked it all out. It's got all the right tabs, everything sits in the right places, the right part number and everything. So it's a lot cheaper than 500 quid. So we're going to see if we can get this on, this one off and this one on. This has got this whole area around here which sits into the seal around the light. Now that's got sealant in it. It's also got little clips and everything else, and this is actually a take two, because I spent quite a lot of time trying to break that seal to get this one off, and there's not really any leverage point. It's really difficult, so I've been heating it up, releasing the tabs, and then trying to pull away at it, and it's really difficult. So I'm going to have another go with the heat and just like trim removal tools, screwdrivers, that kind of thing today. But if not, what we're going to do is possibly just put some, because this is broken anyway, put some holes in here so that we can get some something to sort of pull on that as we heat it up and pull the lens away, so that we can then get it all cleaned up and get the new one in there. So we're having a bit of a headache here. So I can't, it appears that parts of the lens has got screws in it from the back, which is inside the casing, but I can't see how the casing is attached. So I've cut a piece of the lens off with a Dremel, so we can see that we've got out of the gap here, and then we've got these 3 bits here. You won't be able to see it on video, but there is definitely a screw in this one. So what I'm going to do, and I can't figure out how you would possibly get to that screw or remove this inner bit to do it. So and even if you could, the glue's still holding everything in, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. So what I'm going to do is cut around here, see if we can get the rest of the lens off, which might reveal how everything else is put together. Because what I don't want to do is damage the surrounding lip so that we can't get new sealant and stuff in there. Okay, so after cutting off a few test bits and looking through, I've got these screws, couldn't figure it out for the life of me. So this inner part here, which is holding the reflectors and things like that, is screwed to the lens, and then I think the lens is glued in place. So the lens is actually holding this all in place. So if that's right, it's physically impossible to take this off without damaging it. So what I'm going to do is test the theory. I'm going to cut round the outside of the light, which will and around those screws. So the center part will lift out, and then I can do the bit that's been sealed and glued in. That'll be still left there, but I can then pull that out. So I'm going to cut round, see what happens. And that's it. Right, so if we unplug that whole loom, so I'm going to get the camera over here and show you this, because so this part of the light in here has been attached to the lens, and then the lens has been glued on to the main box. So unless there's some magic trick to removing that glue, and I think it's something that cures over time, so I don't think heat is going to melt that glue away, or that adhesive away, which, if you think about it, makes sense. You know, it's near the engine, there's a lot of heat, there's, you know, the lights and everything else, though I don't think these lights give off a lot of heat, most of it's LEDs. So the only way to take that apart is to be destructive with it. I can't tell you whether that's well engineered or badly engineered, but I can now remove the lens from this part. We can put the new lens on there just to get it, keep it all protected. We obviously need to now clean it up really well. That was a hideous way of taking it apart. Don't do that. I mean, you know, better blades with a Dremel or something like that would work a lot better, I'm sure. And then on here, this is what's left of the lens that's still glued in. So I'm going to have to sort of prise that all out around there, and then we can put it back together with some new adhesive and make sure it all works. We've got T8 screws to take out, the Torx screws to get the lens cover off. So there we go. That's what left of the lens. This is absolute madness. I mean, you know, it's going to be very secure, as you can see, but I certainly wouldn't want to ever have to do this again. I mean, I can see why people just buy a new headlight, but I don't think I'm £1,000 into it yet, but you know, I'm not, I mean, cost wise, I haven't bought anything apart from the lens cover, so I'm not £1,000, but time wise, this is horrendous. Right, so we've got the new lens cover, still got its protective film on it. Let's put a bit of bubble wrap down. If we get the inner light portion, there we go. Right, that's all seated. We'll get our T8s. Okay, so new lens is on. I'm going to leave all the protective film on it for the minute until I've had a chance to remaining dust until yeah, I'll leave the protective film on until the whole thing's together. So the next job is going to be to clean all of this up, which is going to be somewhat of a mission, I should think. But at least now we can sort of get round it. I mean, there's a huge amount of this adhesive in here. Oh, and it's done a little bit of damage to some of the clips, but saying that, there's so much adhesive. Don't know what use the clips really were. But yeah, so I'm going to crack on getting this cleaned up and I'll show it to you in a minute. Okay, so we got all the remaining lens trim out of here. I've got a couple of little dinks in the surround, but with the sealant that's going in there, I'm not really worried about it. We'll be able to get it all back together, and it should look pretty good. So I'm going to run a bead of sealant around the edge, sealant adhesive around the edge, which is pretty quick drying, and then just tidy up the clips, make sure everything's secure, and away we go. So that's the wiring loom back in. Okay, so that's sealing on nicely. So now what we're going to do is apply some heat, get everything pushed back round into place, clean it up a little, and we're good to go. Just need to put the ancillaries back on, so control unit and the brackets, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so that turned into a much more daunting project than it was meant to. So I don't particularly recommend you take that on. But of course, you know, it was a lot cheaper, and it's taken sort of, I guess, 5-6 hours to do. So it was a lot cheaper than buying a new headlight. And you know, it's all done now. So and at best it saves £400, worst maybe £900. So I'm going to let that dry for a bit, and then it will go back in the car. So I'll probably just give it an hour or so. That adhesive's pretty quick. Lots more projects coming with Discovery. Got to do the side steps. They're now like 7 years old. They need refurbishing, cleaning up, starting to get a bit sort of warped and stuff, so it might need straightening a little bit. We can do some alloy wheel refurbs, lacquer's wearing, so that needs sorting out, and there's a couple of paint jobs on wheel arches and stuff that need doing. So, you know, if you're interested in that stuff, plus other cars, we're going to get the Morgan out soon. That needs an MOT and just getting looked at and checked over. And a couple of small sort of paint job, smart repair type things that we've got to do on some other vehicles. Then, you know, give us a follow, chuck us a like, and as I say, give this about an hour, and I'll get it back in the car. That's the reverse of what we did earlier, but you know, it's good to see it in and working. That's that all sorted, all working perfectly.